Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Professor Ming's Strategic Insights. Communist China blew its top last week because the State Department of the United States notified the Congress saying that they're going to process an arms sales to Taiwan. An arms sale total of more than 11 billion US dollars. And Communist China was so furious, not only that it imposed a sanction against dozens of United States military industries, and it also announced a military drill against Taiwan, or a military exercise against Taiwan. The question is, why are they so furious about this arms sales? People's Daily, the official mouthpiece of Communist China, ran an article very recently which gave the reason that why they're so furious about this thing. Based on this article, there are three reasons for this rage. First one is they think, or they claim, that the United States broke its promise stated in the three communiques. The 1979 Shanghai Communique, which normalized the relationship between the two capitals, and then the 1979 Communique, which established formal diplomatic relations between the two countries, and the so-called August 17th Communique signed in 1982, which regulates the arms sales, the United States arms sales to Taiwan. And they claim that the United States broke the promise stated in these three communiques. That's the first reason. The second one is in this arms sales, there are some offensive weapons included. In the past, claimed by the People's Daily article, that the United States sold basically defensive weapons or defensive type of weapons to Taiwan only. But this time they broke the line. That's the second reason. The third reason is that they claim the United States crossed the red line on the Taiwan issue, and the red line dictated by Communist China. So these are the three basic reasons that they are so mad about this arms sales. Let's examine these three accusations one by one. The first one says that the United States breaks its promises made in the three communiques. But in the eyes of Washington, it is actually the Communist China who breaks the promises made in the three communiques first. Because in the three communiques, Communist China, or the leaders of Communist China, promised or pledged to solve the Taiwan issue in peaceful ways, or in peaceful means, whatever it is. But the things we see in recent years, the intimidating actions, both actions and words taken by Beijing against Taiwan, are so serious that which made the United States suspicious about Beijing's intention of solving the problem in peaceful ways. So in the eyes of Washington decision makers, it is you, Communist China, who breaks the promise first instead of us. And that's the response Washington takes to the first accusation. And secondly, Beijing accused the United States of selling offensive weapons to Taiwan. Yes, that may be true. But why don't you look at yourself first? You, Communist China, has been building your military in such magnitude. Navy, Army, Air Force, nuclear submarines, and airplane carriers, and even rocket forces. Not only that you're building your military in such magnitude, but you use your military to intimidate Taiwan and the neighboring countries. On top of that, you've been using your military to conduct threatening military exercise against Taiwan. For instance, the one in early August 2022, and this one, the early December 2025. And not to mention the very frequent so-called combat readiness patrol around Taiwan. All these are not only a threat to Taiwan, but also a threat to the regional peace and even global peace. And not to mention Taiwan's democracy and Taiwan's strategic positions and Taiwan's semiconductor industries. And they're so important to global economy. And that's why I have no choice but to sell offensive weapons to Taiwan to help Taiwan defend itself. The third accusation has been that the United States has crossed the red line on the Taiwan issue. I guess the question should be asked like this. Who gave the Communist China the right to draw red lines for more than a century? Communists, communist parties, and communist states have been the ones who challenged the international order, who challenged the universal values, and who have been the troublemakers in world politics. Ever since 1848, the publication of the Communist Manifesto in 1848 by Marx himself. In concrete terms, Communist China's military buildup, its war-forward diplomacy, and its bullying acts against its neighboring countries are all solid evidence of crossing the red lines. The red line of international order, the red line of universal values, and the red line of regional peace and even global peace. The question is, who is the one who's actually crossing the red lines? So by now you may wonder, if their accusations are all false, then what are the true reasons for them to be so angry, so furious? Well, arms sales to Taiwan is of course the ostensible reason. And there are several reasons, true reasons to the question. The first one is, well, remember Japan's new Prime Minister Takaichi's comment on Taiwan, how she commented on Taiwan's contingency. She says a contingency in Taiwan is a contingency for Japan, and how she hinted at the possibility of deploying Japanese troops to deal with Taiwan contingency. And that's the first reason. The second reason is that Beijing has noticed that the collaboration or cooperation among United States, Japan, and Taiwan has been elevated to a great extent, not only in security issues, but also in military cooperations in many aspects. And that's the second reason that really bothers them. And these are basically the external considerations. And besides that, there are also, of course, domestic considerations. As we mentioned before, they have been purging so many generals, 3-star generals and 2-star generals, and so on and so forth, that Xi Jinping wants to make sure that he has full control of China's military. And a sanction against United States military industries and the military exercise against Taiwan is a good demonstration of this capacity of his. And also, we've been talking about the sliding economy in China, and also the social instability resulting from the sliding economy. All these are problems for him to worry about. Before I conclude today's program, let me add one more thing, one more observation. Personally, I think the recent release of United States National Defense Authorization Act, in this document it says that it's going to release or disclose Chinese officials' assets, both domestic and abroad. To the outsiders, it may not seem so important, but to the leaders in Beijing, it's like a nuclear bomb. Its impact will be very devastating, actually very, very devastating. Since the details of the document haven't come out, I'll save it for later programs. But let me warn you, it is so devastating that the outcome would be probably beyond our imagination. But anyway, let's looking forward to it. That's all I want to share with you today. I hope you like it. If you haven't subscribed to it, please do so and share it with your friends. And do remember to click the icon bell so that you get the on-time notification. And that's all for today. I'll see you next time.